Thank you, Madam President. Today is an honor and a pleasure to, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It is an honor and a pleasure to have Dr. Shenequa Miller with us today. She's from Rowlett, Texas, and she's the founder and CEO of SEM Integrity First Companies. She is a 1990 graduate of Gilmer High School, and now she's a professor of teacher education at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas. Her father, James, Easley, lived near Avenue Street for about 22 years. And also with her today, we have Cassandra Davis, who's a real estate broker with Realty Concepts, Texas, where also Dr. Miller's daughter, Jasmine, is a realtor there. And if you hadn't seen in the paper or haven't read her article in the paper, in the Longview paper and also in the Gilmer Mirror about what she's doing. Dallas, I've even seen it in Marietta, Georgia. So it's been all over the place. So, Shenequa, Dr. Miller, if you would come up, and I will not take any more of your time.
Okay.
So please help me welcome Dr. Shenequa Miller.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited about being here today. This is my very first time in this building. So it was really fun to come in and see some of the names that are on the walls. All sound familiar, so it's really exciting. Well, thank you guys for allowing me to come in. I was really excited when Mr. Weems and Ms. Jones told me that I would be able to speak and share my vision with you all here today. So we'll go ahead and get started. Well, So now we've got to go back. See if I can go back on the slides. Here I am. I wanted to share that with y'all. That's me. And we were actually the first team to play in the new gym when Coach Bill and everybody was there. So we had a lot of fun. We actually went to state, I think, 3 times and track that those years that I was there. I was on that team. Had a good basketball, volleyball. We just kind of did a great job with athletics and probably a whole lot of other stuff at that time. But I want y'all to get a little visual with my orange on and with my Gilmer uniform. So let's see how we go. There we go. So let's talk about the area over by Abney Park. When I grew up, that area was called Vinegar Hill. I was actually living on African Hill, which is now commercial, kind of behind the cemetery here off of 271. That's where I grew up, and my dad lived on Fraser Street, 713 Fraser Street, I'll never forget that, Gilmer, Texas, 75644. Was his address, and he rented there for about 23 years. He worked at not Broadmoor, my grandfather worked at Broadmoor. My dad, James Easley, worked at Upshur Rule for 35 years before he retired. And he never actually owned that home, and that was always kind of weird to me. I was like, why don't you own your home? But I don't even remember what he used to tell me, but he was a renter there. And my father passed away last year, and I came home to make sure that his headstone was correct, everything was spelled correct in December at Community Cemetery, and decided to reminisce and go by Fraser Street. And when I went, this is what I saw. These pictures right here, which is very different. Every picture that I'm showing you now, homes used to be there. So of course things happen, times change, and yeah, people pass away, maybe no one took care of their home, no one lived there, and then they are demolished. But it seemed like more than half of that area looks just like these pictures. And that bothered me quite a bit. That was in December. Maybe around February, I had a dream. I had a dream that I was kind of like up in the air, and I could see a lot of rooftops, kind of like a subdivision. And God told me that I was going to own this land with these homes on it. So I was like, well, that's kind of odd, since I am an educator and I know nothing about real estate. I don't own any land. I don't know anything about this business. It's kind of weird. So I just kind of said I was tired. And I just had a weird dream. Well, I had the dream the second night. And that kind of bothered me, because I've never had the same dream twice. So I was driving around, came home again, and I saw a lot that had a for sale sign, and I said, I wonder how much these lots are in this area. Called the real estate agent, was able to put a bid on it, got the lot, then I got the one behind it as a bonus. They said, oh, didn't tell you, but the lot behind it, you own that one too. It came together. I was like, wow, that's kind of neat. and then I just bought another one and another one, and that's when God said, I need you to do something. I need you to do something about this area. And that's what led to creating my company, meeting Miss Cassandra Davis here that's come with me, and to start this project, and led me to Mr. Weems and Miss Jones, who've been absolutely wonderful. And so that's what leads me here. So now, I want you to take a look at this map. Every area in pink are the lots that I own around Avenue Park. So I kind of labeled Avenue Park there. The city has now purchased number 758, and I'll put the cursor there so you can see 758. The park has always consisted of this area, and now the city has purchased this 758 and 1180, which they've never owned before. And they're planning, hopefully, to renovate this park area here. So I remember this park is a great place to hang out. There was homes in all those little squares, and now there's less than a third are actually residents. There's nothing else there but trees, brush, and weeds. There are several homes that are condemned. They just have not been demolished in this area, but they have beautiful mature trees in this area. It's just a wonderful place, especially what I remember growing up playing basketball and having fun in this area at that park. So now that the city owns all of that, it really kind of gives you a visual of what it can be. And not that I'm trying to make it back to what I remember it used to be, other than having life. That is something that I think would be wonderful for a beautiful community that once was a great place to grow up. And so now, what I've done with some of these really large lots, for example, like this one right here, 43975, I've split it in half. And so these 4 lots are now 8 lots. This block here is now 4. Same for these 2 huge lots, where they used to just be one home on it. And so what it does for the city of Gilmer, if you can imagine, all of these lots that are pink do not have a home on them currently. So the tax base right now is about $100 a year, right around in there, because it's just an empty lot. If you actually put a home on it and split it, just kind of imagine whatever your taxes is. Could possibly be the potential revenue for the city of Gilmer. And so with these lots alone, that's 30 actual new homes in this area, just with what I own today. Most of the areas that are white, there are no homes on them. So they're still available, and they probably belong to somebody. They just haven't developed it yet. So this kind of gives you a visual of 30 new homes coming into this area. And how I decided about how I wanted that to look, I kind of thought about how it was when I was here, having a porch, having that outside area, having a lot of space. So all of the homes are custom. Every single one of them will be different. I have a designer out of Richardson that I sit with, and we talk about what I envision, and we create, and he does all the work, and I just kind of smile and look at him and say yes or no. And we build, together we have great plans with different designs for all 30 of these homes. So far, I've been blessed to meet Alicia and Danny, who've been great at the bank. They are financing this project. I'm using my life savings for this project, no outside money at all from anyone else. Mr. Hudson and Mayor Tim Marshall have also been great, just giving advice. Again, I'm in an area that I have no education in whatsoever or experience. So they have really helped a lot with that and helping me understand, what you can do and what you can't do inside the city and outside of the city. And Linda and Lacey at the Chamber of Commerce has also been very helpful. So this is Abney Street. In June, we started construction. So you can actually see the sky a little bit. You can see a little bit of the clearing of the lots. And this is a picture of the community residents and city leaders at the groundbreaking we had on August 14th. And that was a lot of fun. And again, you can kind of see behind us how beautiful those trees are. I mean, I'm in Rowlett, right by Lake Ray Hubbard, and you can't buy a tree like that. We have to start from scratch. So having beautiful mature trees are just awesome to me. So this is what the first home looks like so far. If you can see Abney Park right there behind it. So this is the first one, so I hope you can go by Bradford Street and see the first build. So we're very excited about this one. And this is what it'll look like. All of my homes are 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage minimum. So this is the smallest home that we'll have. It's 1,245 square feet. I decided to do a Jack and Jill bathroom in every home just because you don't always want to come out of your room to go to the bathroom down the hall. I kind of envision just kind of having an ensuite and just kind of go through. Easy for kids. And I do the half bath for security reasons. I just feel that if I were a homeowner and someone wanted to come over and visit and they want to use the restroom, do I want them going down my hallway and kind of looking around? Nah, I'll just have a powder room right up at the front. And so all of my homes have a half bath up at the front of the house. And as you can see, this version has a huge porch in the front. And so I can see a couple of ferns hanging down there and a beautiful rocking chair sitting on the front porch overlooking the park. So I named this one after my very first and only grandchild, Ava. So this is Ava. This is Jordan, my youngest child. And it's more, it has the shutters on it, and it has some additional woodwork up at the top. Again, this is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage. And this one will be right next door to Ava.
What's the square footage on that?
On Jordan, the square footage on Jordan,
1277.
was it 1277? Thank you.
That living area, or I think it was 12.
Yes, 1238. This one's 1238. And this is James, named after my dad. It's more of the barn style look. It reminds me a lot of him. And this one's 1277. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, and it has an extra large porch on the back as well on this one. And a huge stand, I think this one is the one that we did the huge master bathroom with stand-up shower and all that good stuff. All the bells and whistles on it. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the homes will look like. When I actually came in, and I think we talked about this a little bit, we had well, the Longview News Journal came and interviewed me, and then the Gilmer Mirror did the same, and then all of a sudden it popped up in, the same article popped up in the Dallas Morning News, and I started getting texts and calls, hey, I didn't know you were doing a news article for the Dallas Morning News. I was like, I didn't. And so I called the writer and asked, I said, hey, how did this happen? And he was like, this is a feel-good story, something authentic, something positive going on in a community in a time where there's a lot of chaos in our country. And so he said, I think he said it was 45 different newspapers actually picked up the story, and he gave permission. And so here are some of them. So some of them went to the Miami Herald. This story went all the way to Kentucky. It was in Waco. It was everywhere. And I had never seen anything like this. And they're like, oh, this is great publicity for you. And I was like, really? I didn't know I needed it. But I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It became a joke at my house. And they were like, Mom, are you ever going to wear that dress again? I was like, no. Someone may recognize me if I wear that dress just from this article. But it's the exact same article in all these things, all these different newspapers. I thought it was hilarious. So anyway, that is my story, and that is why I'm here. So you'll probably see me back and forth in Gilmer all the time. I'm here actually probably once or twice a week already anyway. I have an office in the square, right by the jewelry store, and with Hayden Starnes. I don't know if anyone knows Hayden. And so I work up there with him. So I come in, like I said, maybe twice a week so far. But it's been great. Lots of support from the community. Different people coming to talk to me when I go over at the job site. So it's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So does anyone have any questions or comments or anything for me? Yes, sir.
Those are going to be, you say those are affordable housing. I know that now that you go buy a house, build a house, you can pay $250 million just to build a house. What's the value, or where is it going?
We're right under $1 million.
That's good.
Cassandra, come up here. You're talking out of my park now. Talking about that kind of stuff. But I have Cassandra here, who is my daughter's a real estate agent, Jasmine Hunter, and this is Cassandra Davis, her broker.
Great. In answer to your question, affordable housing, of course, is relative to where you live. And what we first looked at is, where do people work in Gilmer? And the overwhelming response has been, some people work in Gilmer, but a lot of people work in Longview, and some even travel to Tyler. And so with that in mind, these are full brick homes with large lots. That very first home is like a 60 by 150. And so we're starting at about 151 is what we're looking at, which would make someone's house payment be right around $1,000 a month once you add the taxes, which, as you know, rental is the fastest growing segment of real estate in the United States, and affordable housing is an epidemic. And so when people are looking at, we looked at 3 types of buyers: a buyer who's wanting to retire. Quite a few people are retiring in East Texas now because of just the community and the way people treat you and the acceptance. So I see people retiring in places like Gilmer, places like Tyler, but you can't go to Tyler and get a brand new $150,000 home. You sure can't get one like that in Dallas. In fact, I had a guy the other day said, Cassandra, find me a home. I'm willing to pay $1,200 a month for the mortgage. And I told him about Gilmer. And he said, well, I work in Dallas. I said, well, you'd have to leave early in the morning. You know? And so we are also looking at the fact that USDA loans are available here. I know Alicia has a 3% Fannie Mae. And you can couple that with a program called T-Shack that will throw in another 5 to 7% on closing costs and down payment. So a young family could possibly move in for as little as $5,000 and start building wealth, because we know home ownership is about building wealth. But in any event, Jasmine, Shenequa's daughter, is an extremely bright young woman, and she was in one of my classes. So I'm also a real estate instructor for Texas Realtors, and I was so impressed with her. And after one of my classes, she said to me, "I build houses." I said, "You do?" And I said, "Where?" She said, "Gilmer." I said, "I have no idea where that is." And she said, "Look it up. You will be impressed." And she said, "Actually, me and my mom, that's what we're doing." And she said, "I'm going to do the marketing part of it." And so I've been working with her to make sure that I understand not only the economics, but also the community. And when I saw Abney Park, it was so beautiful and so nostalgic. I grew up in McKinney. My family was from Tulsa. And McKinney was small and quaint, and Collin County was nothing at that time. In fact, most people worked at Texas Instruments there in Richardson. And the ones that didn't work at Texas Instruments worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield. There was Haggard Slacks there in McKinney. But even though McKinney was the county seat, Plano started to grow a lot faster. And as you know now, Collin County is considered one of the fastest growing counties in the United States, with the average price home being way over $300,000. I see that happening really in East Texas as it starts to grow. I doubt if it'll get that expensive, but if you go to Tyler, it is. You know, especially if you're around Palestine Lake, you can see those homes there. I've got my brother-in-law lives in Bullard, and those homes are quite expensive. I don't see that happening in Gilmer, but I do see it being a really nice place, close to areas that are going to pretty much continue to escalate in prices. And I know people are afraid of their taxes going up, but you know what? It's bittersweet, isn't it? Because as value grows, taxes grow as well. And I love Shenequa's vision of her neighborhood, but also of Gilmer in general. The downtown area, the square. There's so much that could be done to continue to beautify not only that area, but all over the city. So she needs your support, and it looks like she's getting it. And so I'm not going to be here twice a week, but I'm sure you'll see her daughter more often. Thank you.
I also wanted to say, Mayor Marshall, remember, if I had some additional experience in this, I probably would be able to keep the costs down. But I was just telling Mr. Hudson earlier today, I spent $10,000 to clear off 2 lots. I had no idea. I don't know what's a good price, what's not a good price. And so my first home just cost a lot to build it. It will get better as I get better, as I learn. Because again, I'm in an area that I'm not well trained in. And so when I tell people, oh, I paid $10,000 just to have a couple of lots cleared off, they're like, who'd you pay that to? Well, somebody right here in Gilmer, because all the materials come out of Gilmer. Everything's done right here in Gilmer. But I guess that's just the price you pay when you come in and you're doing something and you don't know a whole lot about it. So, but again, yes, go ahead.
How are you going to finish them out inside?
On the inside, well, I can give you an example of what the first one's going to look like. You know, the whole outside is brick. I wish I had a picture that I could show you.
You have a picture of the brick in
I do, but I don't have it where I can put it up here. I do have the brick already picked out and the colors and everything. So the outside is like a light tan brick. It'll have cedar posts above the garage and above the on the right below the roof line, there's cedar there. And on the inside, it's a light gray color. In all the bedrooms, tile, granite, and the floors will be the wood laminate for the first home, yes. But everybody wants granite, everybody likes granite, it's beautiful. I gotta have it too, so yeah, these homes are gonna have it too. We gotta have those great things. What sells a home is the kitchen and those bathrooms, guys. We need space for our stuff on the counter. So you'll see in the plans, there's space. And so I looked at that, and even in every single home, it's designed where, because they're all custom, but they're designed where even a wheelchair could get into the shower. That's how oversized the showers are, and the doors and stuff, because you just never know who may need that home. Or you may want to have your parents live in that home. I know I took my dad, and he was with us 8 years. So, you know, you need that kind of stuff sometimes. And so all that was taken into account when designing these homes. Any other questions? No? All right. Well, thank y'all for having me.
Dr. Miller, thank you so much.